Hello and welcome to the most extreme podcast in professional wrestling today. This is Extreme Wrestling Podcast.
Man, so much energy this week.
Yeah, I figured I wanted to put more energy into the name. Anyway, I am your host, Ryan Arnold, joined as always with James, a.k.a. the Queen of the Divas. We'll get to that later.
Oh my God.
But join us today, our first special guest. I might have mentioned on his live stream Tuesday, we have the one and only Lance Moss.
Well, first, James, what is in these circles, what is my name?
The incomparable Lance Moss.
There you go.
There we go.
No, Ryan, you didn't really, I don't think you mentioned that I was going to be on here.
I did.
On my show?
I did at the end.
Oh, that's right, because I had to say,
Yeah, you forgot about that.
Lance,
Anyway.
were you drunk that night?
No, I was on Death Wish.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. Of course. Anyway, what should we start off with today, James?
We are starting off with our wrestling news and opinions. Now, as you know, Money in the Bank did occur Sunday, but before that Money in the Bank pay-per-view, big news came out that Alberto Del Rio got arrested for sexual assault. This is not the first time or the last time Del Rio is in trouble with this type of situation, because he dealt with this with Paige, he dealt with this with other people, he just can't get out of trouble. Lance, what you think about this?
I saw the daggum mugshot, and I'll just say he looked like he was on a little something. A little bit of the booger sugar.
Yeah.
It might be the last time he is involved in something like this, because he might be getting himself in a room without a view.
He also it was also reported that Del Rio did, threaten to leave a child in the middle of the road, and so that's kind of big no, especially.
I'm basically like, he ain't coming back to WWE anytime soon, or ever. If he does, Vince must be out of his goddamn mind.
Hey, it won't be the last time McMahon would try to do something like that stupid. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next one. You want me to continue on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. The next one was that there's been reports from I forgot who did an interview with Michelle McCool, but Michelle McCool reported that Edge was originally supposed to break the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania 24, but he refused to do it on the case that it will not work for his character. There's nothing involved with his character. Lance, I start you off with this. What you think about that?
Well, other than my guy HBK, Ed, of the last decade of guys that have fought Taker, between Edge and Lesnar, at Mania, other than HBK, the only one of them that seems feasible to have broken it would have been Edge.
Yeah, regardless of what happened, I absolutely loved that match to death. It is one of my top 3 Taker Mania matches. But regardless of the outcome, it still would have been one of my top 3 favorites.
Well, for me, I would have seen it as something that could have happened due to the fact that with the whole at that time the storyline with Edge and having Vicky and then having the Edge heads who were no longer with WWE anymore. That's another story. But it would have been, but I see Edge's reasoning why he didn't want to break the streak because it's for respect purposes. But I guess he just wanted to see if somebody else can do it, or somebody younger that could break the streak. And that's what my opinion would be.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but then we all know what happened after that.
Well, how old was Lesnar when he actually broke the streak in New Orleans? Anybody know?
That's a good question.
I don't really know.
Because I want to see if Brock was at the time younger than Edge was when he was scheduled to break it.
36.
And how old was Edge at the time?
Edge would be at the time.
36.
Oops, hold on. Because I'm calculating. He is.
Edge
would be. So he's 46 minus.
Okay, 46 minus
12.
12.
34.
34.
They got a guy 2 years older than him to do it.
They got a guy 2 years older. Come on.
All right, Ryan has a question of an opinion.
Yeah, obviously I brought this. Well, actually, this came from something I was watching on a live stream. Obviously, Comment 167. Hopefully, to have him on here someday. He's talked about the idea of a general managers that are like William Regal, that aren't necessarily there all the time, but when needed, they would show up. And thought, why doesn't SmackDown and Raw have something like that? Discuss.
Well, in my opinion, with that, I think they had that. It's just once they changed it from general managers to McMahon before the whole thing with Fox, they didn't want to do a manager. And I think right now it would be plausible because a lot of these matches being made, and it's like, okay, who's the main person in charge? But they going with the fact that it's Fox that's doing the stuff with Raw or with SmackDown, while USA is doing their stuff with Raw. So I think they just say that the network runs Raw and SmackDown instead of somebody. Again, plausible should be, but again, I think they. But then also another thing was that if I remember, somebody mentioned, I forgot who it was. I think it was maybe Heyman that said that the run of the GMs is over. That he's running Raw, but I don't think he said he doesn't like the idea of a general manager. Lance.
Yeah, 'cause honestly, they beat the general manager dead horse to death. And, well, everybody knows who really is in charge of both shows. And it ain't the guy who's like, excuse me, or people power, or whatever. Everybody knows it's the McMahons.
Exactly.
And the only way you're going to get a general manager like William Regal on either SmackDown or Raw is, and NXT fans are not going to like this, is get William Regal on SmackDown or Raw, because anybody else in the wrestling business is not going to be like William Regal.
Exactly.
Well, also another problem become of this is that right now William Regal's not even in the U.S. He's in the U.K. He's stuck there. That's why these situations going on with the other storylines. And again, people like Rude is stuck in Canada. Singh Brothers also stuck in Canada. So there's a lot of these people that's stuck. And again, I like the idea of maybe Regal going to Raw or SmackDown, but he will have to just video conference it. So it's like it wouldn't make sense because
which would be the only way he would keep Tajiri away from his tea pitcher.
Yeah. Anyway, you brought James back to you. You have
All right.
some other
All right.
topic.
Some more. It would be, who watched the Undertaker documentary?
I
What's your
can't,
thoughts of it?
unfortunately.
Dude, pay $9.99.
I'll try to.
Or you know what?
Lance got something.
Oh, God. Save your codes, dude. I'll find a way.
No, go to Dollar General or something and get one of these.
Yeah,
Dollar General, Walmart, wherever. Anyway.
Wherever they're sold.
yeah.
But Lance, what's your thoughts of it?
So far, so good being a WWE documentary. Because this thing's going a 7-8 part series.
Yeah.
I heard 5.
5 points.
I know it was something like that.
It's like this WWE's answer to the last dance with the Michael Jordan and the Bulls documentary that's on ESPN.
And it also tells me that the Roman Mania, he thought it was it.
I think a lot of us thought that was it, honestly. And
Yeah,
I think that should have been it, but I just don't know. I just felt that it might have been something with Taker had to be like, yeah, it might be it, but I don't want it to be it.
Yeah, then the next year he had to teabag John Cena.
I was there. Ryan, have you heard anything?
That whole. Yeah, I definitely want to, but knowing I've watched what he is, and especially hearing shoot interviews about him and all that stuff, it made it a lot more harder for me to see him go and stuff like that. It's being that I am a die-hard Taker fan. It would just be so. It'd be so weird without him.
It's only part 1, dude.
I know, but
I mean, hell, he had a match a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I know that Boneyard match. Yeah, I know.
Even match. But anyway,
but it's just I just wasn't emotionally ready for him to go after his loss to Roman. He was just. I just wasn't ready, knowing that it's going to happen at some point. I can kind of be at peace and ready for it the next time it does happen.
All right. Last but not least, on the news and opinions, going to the opinion part of this. Well, the news about Ring of Honor and New Japan are currently on hiatus. Japan, well, New Japan, the reason was that they wanted to be safe, and they were worried about their people, the superstars, their wrestlers, not doing anything. And the same thing with Ring of Honor right now. Ring of Honor is like, nope. Even though Florida is open, and Florida apparently say wrestling is essential, they say, nope, we're not doing it. But the question becomes with this, when they come back, should they team up with AEW? Start off with Lance.
Okay, first off, I'm actually glad that Ring of Honor is doing these best of shows, because I mean, James, me and you've talked about this before, that at like midnight, 11 o'clock, something like that, they do their syndicated show on Fox Sports Network. Mm-hmm. So now I'm getting to see the older stuff I didn't see before, so that's good. But, and to answer your question, I'll say on a partial basis, because, well, for one, Cody and the Bucks and Omega have those ties to New Japan, and a lot of people have ties to ROH, and it can get rid of some of the shit people that that AEW has, some of the job guys, like this Pineapple guy or whatever the hell his damn name is.
Pineapple Pete.
We get
then
to
you realize some of those, especially some of the best of stuff with ROH, they might show stuff that has current WWE people, and that might be.
I don't know if they can legally do that right now. They might get sued.
Why would they get sued? It's their property.
Yeah, but
you're using property of something that has people that are in WWE
that are currently under contract with somebody else.
Yeah, like say, who has retained their name in WWE? AJ Styles. I'm sure he wrestled a few ROH matches under his name, so that might be a big problem.
I mean, they could do Steen and Generico, but it wouldn't be under Owens and Zayn. It'd be under Kevin Steen and El Generico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the people that's in WWE use different names. Seth Rollins used Tyler Black. Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens.
And
Kevin
then you have Adam Cole has always been Adam Cole. Bobby Roderick Strong have always been those names.
Yeah. No. And I think people from the current NXT roster that's been in Ring of Honor use the same names because, again, but we're talking about like people who used to wrestle there, like Daniel Bryan.
Well, I know somebody that did and still uses their name.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Joe. Yeah.
AJ Styles, he did. I think he even did before. When he when they Ring of Honor did the stuff with TNA. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wasn't even AJ Styles in WCW?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a little bit.
He did
right near the end.
He was in WCW. He did.
No, I mean he was in WCW as AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe was too, I believe.
Uh-huh.
So they've been their names throughout, WCW all the way to their WWE careers.
So, like, my opinion about that is that, everybody's been teasing it, and I think everybody wants it because of the fact that New Japan still have the damn Bullet Club. And most of the people that's in the Bullet Club, besides the founder and the second leader, are in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
And Ring of Honor, the booker is basically Marty Scurll, who also was in the Elite / Bullet Club. Makes sense.
And then we see Tongo Tong walk down and beat the hell out of every damn body in AEW.
Yeah. The Bullet Club could beat up
the shit out of Chris Jericho.
The Bullet Club could beat up the Elite
and the Inner Circle. At that, I would be like, hell yeah, they got what they got. They had that coming to them for a while.
All right. So that's all the news and our opinions.
Hang on, one second, I'll be back.
Okay, so now we go to our recap of every the shows from this past week, starting with Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Money in the Bank. Obviously, there was one match you forgot on there, and that was R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley.
Let's say this: the only reason why I did that is that we're talking about that for Raw. We're saving that for Raw.
Yes, but in the pay-per-view results, we have Jeff Hardy beating Cesaro. R-Truth losing to Bobby Lashley, who filled in for MVP. We'll get into that shortly. And to sum it up, all champions retained.
Mm-hmm. They retained the tag titles. Bailey retained the SmackDown Women's Universal and World Champion, still the same.
Yep. And Money in the Bank for her only 24 hours was Asuka, and currently the men's Money in the Bank winner is Otis.
The most shocking.
Who saw that coming?
Really?
Wait, you picked him?
I said it'd be cool if Otis won. I said I want Otis to win.
He was one of those that I was like a dark horse pick. Him and Black were the dark horse picks for me. And we're like, wait, what? Otis, what? Oh, how? That completely just what?
So our main parts about Money in the Bank. No Sheamus at Money in the Bank to beat up Jeff Hardy. Why was that?
No.
Why was that?
Why so damn short?
I don't know.
It's kind of interesting. Maybe it's because they were on a crunch with the pre-show. It being pre-show, if it was on the main card or something, that they're
No, I mean the actual.
The pay-per-view. Well, you think about this.
2.5 hours.
Think about this, Lance. Though, in the old days, back in like 90s, early 2000s, show starts at 7, ends at like 9:30. That's about the same thing. It's about the same thing. Maybe it's short. It's like one of the shortest one in recent history. But, again, without a crowd, really, what can WWE really do?
Yeah. Well, there were some cool things that did happen in that Money in the Bank. We saw.
Oh man,
you mentioned people power. He showed up during that match.
I was more marking out with Brother Love.
Brother Love was there. I think someone posing as Doink the Clown was there.
Oh, Zoe hated that.
Freaking Stephanie and Vince McMahon were there.
Yeah, I knew somebody was gonna go into McMahon's office.
And I'm kind of surprised it was AJ and Brian. Yeah. So it was so funny. Just hearing all that.
I do want to do some reports on the Money in the Bank, which I never put on here, but so basically, the reports was that the only reason why nothing major happened in McMahon's office besides them barging in and just beating up each other is because Vince McMahon did not want to get anybody destroying the dinosaur skull that's on his wall.
Yeah.
Because that is a prized possession to him, apparently. So, and well, actually, I'm going to talk about the second part after we talk about Raw. But we're going to continue on with Money in the Bank. But Money in the Bank line match, to me, that was the match of the night.
I'm not saying that this is the best one, but I'm definitely saying it's going to be one of those that people will remember for a long time coming. Easily.
I will say this: the main reason they were able to do it through the Titan Tower, because y'all know how secretive they are with the layout of that place. They're trying to move.
Yeah, that's what the reports was, is that they were moving. They were supposed to move earlier, but the whole pandemic stopped the move.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be easily one of those that is remembered for a long time. Easily.
Because of food fight.
Yeah.
Why can't Paul Heyman eat in peace?
All the wackiness of it was just like, oh, God, I'm going to remember that one for a while.
Can Paul Heyman eat in peace?
I know,
right?
I
forgot Paul Heyman was there.
All right, so.
Which we now lead us into Raw, and I said Asuka was for the short amount of time she was Miss Money in the Bank, which led to the first segment of the show, Becky Lynch relinquishing the championship to Asuka and revealing that she was pregnant. James?
First thing to say is to congratulate Becky Lynch for the pregnancy. Becky Lynch revealing that she was pregnant changed everything about why stuff happened. Because you and me say this, Shayna Baszler was going to win the briefcase last week. We predicted Shayna Baszler was going to win that briefcase.
Exactly.
But with Becky Lynch revealing that she is pregnant throughout everything, and I guess the most logical person to get that championship was Asuka. Because what Asuka has been doing these last, few months with
she is
fans.
the most entertaining thing in the women's division as of right now.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, what also been reports was that Shayna was supposed to win the briefcase, but Becky was supposed to fight Nia Jax in a match at Money in the Bank. But again, everything screwed up, so we had to put Nia Jax in the Money in the Bank, and then we had to not give the briefcase to Shayna. Right?
Yeah, but if they gave it to Shayna, that would just been a disaster in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's like this. Now, granted, she is probably the best, most entertaining thing on Raw in the women's division, but now you got a women's champion that cannot speak fucking English.
But
she can speak some, but not the best English.
But the thing, here's also my main thing is Asuka now a face because of it? Because we don't have the top face of the women's division on Raw. Now.
Kind of.
Sort of.
I think she's kind of a tweener where kind of thing. Look at AJ in the IC tournament, which we'll get to later. He kind of can play both heel and face. I'm saying Asuka can do the same where it depends on the opponent. She could become a face against one person and then maybe be a heel against another. Like she can go back and forth with stuff like that.
It kind of depends on if she's on her meds or not.
Yeah. If you say, we don't know she's going to face Shayna, she's going to probably play the babyface role. If she's going to face someone like, let's say, Liv Morgan, she can play the heel. I think she's a champion where she can play both face and heel.
Now, second part of Raw was Bobby Lashley and MVP joining forces to make the Beatdown Clan of Part 2 in WWE.
Problem is they can't Kenny King.
I don't think they can use the name, but they can do something else.
Yeah.
Lance, what you think about this?
Two jabronis doing jabroni things.
Fair enough.
Honestly, as MVP put it, to give to Ash Lashley, why not go for the WWE Championship? That's going to lead Lashley fighting against Drew McIntyre for the championship. Now Drew's going to retain the championship, but this is a push Lashley really needs. But I know he's not going to win the championship because Drew McIntyre is your guy.
Yeah. I agree with that.
All right.
Honestly, they need to keep Lashley the hell away from major titles. In WWE, he cannot get the job damn done. Let's face it. Remember when he hit that atrocious WWE CW run he had?
We're not supposed to remember that.
Fuck them. Benoit.
Oh God! I couldn't only imagine if he did win and he didn't kill himself and his wife. That's something maybe another.
No, I don't mean fuck Chris Benoit. I mean fuck you, Vince. The name is Chris Benoit.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Next.
Oh yeah. Seth Rollins. Now, earlier, obviously, he lost against Drew McIntyre, who retained at Money in the Bank, and obviously, he showed up in an interview with Ray as he what's the word? I think he saw. He had the dad bod or something, like he ate a few cheeseburgers or something like that. And hair was in a mess and stuff like that. And he was just non-responsive until later on in a tag team match where he teamed up with Buddy Murphy against Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio. Yes, they are okay, by the way. And this led to Rey attacking him during the match. Rey was about to hit 619 on Murphy, and then Seth Rollins caught him and hit him into the ground, causing disqualification, and he proceeded to beat up Rey to the point of where he put his eye.
I've got a damn question.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Okay. It was a tag match, right?
Yes.
How the fuck was that a disqualification?
Okay, so this is what the report says. This is what I'm hearing a report. Vince McMahon is basically Vince McMahon is not playing the AEW rule. If you're an illegal person and you beat up an illegal person, then that's a disqualification.
Okay, now he decides to use the rules. Okay.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. He beats the living.
He don't want to be like AEW.
Yeah.
Good.
He beats y'all done. Anyway, he beats the living crap out of Rey to the point of where he shoves his eye into one of the corner of the steel steps and he's bleeding. Like he has his mask kind of off and his eye is bleeding. And like Seth snaps, and then later on when they're in the back with the medical, Seth is looking for Rey and he says to Aleister, I forgot what he says, but I know it's something I can't remember what happened or something. Aleister then gets a little bit mad, but he tries to stop him, and then those two go into a fight, and all the while Seth is walking off in the background. James?
Okay, so I kind of see what is going on with it because remember, he is the Monday Night Messiah. But the thing is that he can't get the job done, and he can't be that leader that he envisioned himself with. So he's going mad crazy. So, and you know how they do with people with crazy storylines. Is either a good thing or a bad thing. Most of it is good, depending on the superstar that they use.
Yeah.
I don't know. With Seth Rollins, they mentioned the whole stuff with Becky Lynch during that interview with Ray in the back, but I just don't know if you should go that far, but, that's just me.
Yeah, this is just a wait and see type of thing. What do y'all think, What do you think, Lance?
At first, I was thinking, okay, there better not be doing a broken Seth Rollins. Because if he starts going, somebody could get Jeff Hardy out here to beat his ass.
I know, right?
Well, that is possible now with the brand-to-brand invitational thing, or the
if they go that far, I guarantee Vince McMahon will get a cease and desist letter.
Yep.
Yeah, from Matt.
All right. Well, going to my Queen of the Divas news. The Iconics returned and unfortunately beat Lance's favorite team of Bliss Cross Applesauce. Now, this was we're not supposed to say the word, but this was a non-title match.
Yes, non-title.
Now, Monday, they are fighting for the championship. Is this the right idea to give back the titles to the Iconics? Lance, I know your answer. Just tell us and why.
Okay. When the Iconics had the women's championships?
Since WrestleMania 35, losing at SummerSlam?
To how long?
To SummerSlam?
How many times did they defend those?
Very little.
No.
Love the none.
Bingo! Non-fighting champions. Bullshit. Put them as the job team of the women's division where they belong with their non-defendant having ass.
Right?
I hate you for that, Lance. You obviously, I was so happy that they come back because obviously Peyton is my favorite when it comes to that, and them win was just made me so happy. But as much as I want to see them champion, I can't agree with Lance in this case.
That and Bliss Cross Applesauce is just better.
Now, just note, Bliss Cross Applesauce is on Raw because of the new brand-to-brand invitation, which I did forget to mention to put in the notes. It's that basically this is the new.
The titles are pretty much interpromotional. They can pretty much be defended on either Raw, SmackDown,
that's
or
true,
NXT.
but remember, this is the rule for the brand-to-brand invitational. They are allowed 4 times per year. We don't know how long is a year, but it's a year. And also, it's
Like,
only for Raw, SmackDown, no NXT. Charlotte's the only exception because she's the NXT champion, but she's technically a Raw superstar. But again, man, in this situation, another challenger for the tag championships, which we don't really should care about because, I mean, no offense to your team, Lance, but it's not the team. It's the fact that they're not pushing them. They're not pushing the championships.
Yeah. But at
That's
least
their fault. It's booking. Say that.
Yeah.
The last note for Raw, Ryan?
Yes. We come to what was basically the last segment of the show, which was Edge and Randy Orton returning. And all this leads up to a wrestling match between the two at Backlash. What do y'all think of this?
Lance?
Oh, to be honest, when they did that, I was expecting them to do the whole stereotypical, yeah, we beat the hell out of each other, but let's give it one last go as rated RKO, rated RKO. But you know what? Let's see how they do it with this actual one-on-one match and not be a damn thing that Edge has never been known for. He's never been known as really a hardcore guy. Yeah, he's done ladder matches, but Pier 6 brawl style hardcore has never really been his forte. Let's see what those two guys can do within the confines of the squared circle.
Yes.
In the situation, yeah. The match at WrestleMania. It was too damn long.
Mm-hmm.
Only the fact that he went through the entire performance center just to go right on top of a truck. It's too damn long. I'm going to go to Lance here. Let's see how they do it in the ring. We never seen Edge one-on-one in the ring in a match.
Yet.
We seen him in Royal Rumble match and we saw him in Last Man Standing match, but not in a regular one-on-one mono match. Let's see how this goes.
Yes. Well, that concludes Raw. Let's get to AEW. James.
All right, I'm gonna take over the AEW's part here. We're gonna start off with Cody and the Lance Archer feud for the TNT Championship. Now, as you know, basically Lance Archer and Jake the Snake did come up, did a promo, and then basically Cody came out in his truck trying to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin, which doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No.
And basically they beat up each other. Basically Cody get the advantage because Jake the Snake said told Lance, don't do it. And but Lance looked strong in that fight. But the major news that came out during the show, towards the end of the show, was that Mike Tyson will be at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view to present the TNT Championship. Lance, thoughts?
And first off, since it's a TNT Championship for the channel TNT, why the hell is this on pay-per-view?
Because they wanted to crown a champion on the pay-per-view.
Well, shouldn't this have been on, I don't know, TNT?
I know, right? Damn it.
But, I mean, I had heard the thing about them possibly having Sting to present it, and then Sting said no, so maybe this is how they're gonna do it then. But either which way, both guys should watch out for Tyson's right hook.
Yeah.
Because we already know what happens when Tyson gets near a wrestling ring. Wrestlers get knocked out.
Yeah. Me, I really don't care. I'm just glad that it's not Sting presenting it. Yeah, that would just kind of ruin the whole dream match between him and Taker. It kind of, had it been him, that match would never happen, or possibly it still might never happen. But I'm just glad
I should have put Sting on the news part, but no. Anyway, Mike Tyson at Double or Nothing really kind of surprises me, but there's been videos popping up of him training, so I kind of understand why they're doing this, because they want to get the Tyson name out again, because I don't know.
I just think it's ludicrous.
Okay, Lance. And so, Lance. But it's an interesting feud. It was honestly in the tournament, it was really predictable, because I kind of figured that Lance Archer and Cody was gonna be this. But do they give the title to Cody? That's the question. You don't know. We do that for Double or Nothing prediction later. Anyway, next up is the Jungle Boy and MJF feud. Now, as you know, Jurassic Express lost their tag team match to the Best Friends due to interference of MJF by throwing Jungle Boy into a ring post, and then after that he beat up Marco Stunt. I don't know, is that correct? How you pronounce that name, Lance?
Yeah, Marco Stunt.
Yeah, Marco Stunt.
Which I have my own issues with a wrestler calling themselves that.
Well, next week, because MJF did beat up a jobber later on the show, MJF did mention after the match that he signed an open contract for him and Marco Stunt to fight next week on Dynamite. Lance.
He's going to beat up a midget.
Yep.
I agree with Lance. He's going to beat up a midget. Not much else to say about it.
Honestly, in my opinion, it's like MJF should not be in this type of feud. He should be in a feud for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're not doing it, but again, it's AEW, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna jump into a different one before I go to the topic that I want to rant about. Inner Circle and the Elite. So Chris Jericho beat up Pineapple Pete. Because you know why? We just love having Chris Jericho beat up Pineapple Pete. But then also earlier in the show, Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega did beat Ortiz and Santana. Even though our friend tried to interfere. I keep forgetting his name. Sammy Guevara, sorry. Sammy Guevara tried to interfere, but with a neck brace and walking all slow.
Yeah.
So after the match, after Chris Jericho beat up Pineapple Pete, Vanguard 1 appeared with the inner circle surrounding Vanguard 1. Oh yeah, by the way, I forget to mention Chris Jericho does have a bat. And then this was after Chris Jericho challenged the Elite to a Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing. What is a Stadium Stampede match? I don't know. But it's going to be held inside the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium, since that's where they are really taping the stuff at, because the amphitheater that's there is connected to the stadium. So, and then after Vanguard 1 accepted in behalf of the Elite, Chris Jericho in the Bat and the Inner Circle beat up Vanguard 1. So may Vanguard 1 rest in peace. Ryan, what's your thoughts about it?
Tragic. Very tragic. Vanguard 1 will be greatly missed. So many great memories of Vanguard 1 from whatever, I can't remember any.
Impact to
Vanguard
WWE
1's been involved
to
in, he's been in too many. Lance?
I don't think he'll be this. They probably have a few of the exact models of Vanguard, so this won't be the last we'll see of Vanguard 1, and it's gonna blow Jericho's mind. Because remember,
it's gonna be Vanguard 2.
No, you don't know that Matt could revive him.
Yeah, I forgot. He can put him in the lake of reincarnation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. But
yeah,
your thoughts on the Canadian? I was about to say the Canadian Stampede. I meant the Stadium Stampede match.
Well, it's like this. If what the hell we saw not Tuesday or not Wednesday, but the Tuesday or Wednesday before that, with that crazy ass match we saw, is any indication, that's going to be a hell of a to steal a quote from good old JR. That's going to be one hell of a Donnybrook.
A slobber knocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm gonna go say this. Stadium Stampede is most likely a glorified street fight inside of the stadium. So basically, they're doing something WWE wish they would have done earlier this year with WrestleMania, and that's fight inside of a football stadium. But because AEW can't pull the strings.
Here's the thing: will Sammy Guevara get run over again?
Most likely, we're gonna have another.
Damn.
I would love that.
Oh yeah, I did forget to mention. There was a small note that I did forget to mention in AEW. Is that they actually had a crowd. You might not see them, but it was behind the camera, but you could hear a crowd.
Yeah.
All right, now it is time. Lance, what is my title of Hardcore Wrestling Radio?
The Queen of the Divas. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is the Queen of the Divas rant about the AEW Women's Division. I understand that AEW have, these type of situations. But what I saw Wednesday was utter pure, it's a curse word here. It starts with an S, by the way.
Shite.
Full crap, okay?
Yeah.
That was terrible. I'm sorry. The women division.
I have to say this. When you have your first champions are, until I didn't know about her, are Kenny Omega's girlfriend
Riho.
and Lance. What was what was the one thing you said or something about what is Nyla Rose? What was Nyla Rose?
That is a man.
Exactly. Literally. A man who turned into a female. That is a major effing problem.
Hey, it's
You
bad when
should have an established name, like, say, Britt Baker be the champion.
Britt Baker was not established.
What I mean by that is that her name is known everywhere. That's what I kind of mean. Or hell, even someone like, I don't know, Awesome Kong be the champion.
Can I mention something about that, actually? Britt Baker's only known for one thing. Lance, take it away.
Being Adam Cole's girlfriend, baby.
Exactly. The thing is that you got some of these big name women stars, but they can't really do any. They can't. Oh my goodness, the wrestling is terrible. I mean, these Japanese ladies do their thing. They try their best, but it's just like it blows my mind. This is not that good. I thought the thing with Santana Garrett and Aaliyah was bad. But that was like, oh my goodness. Now Britt Baker, she's crafting her own as really embracing her dentist thing, but her role model thing, doesn't really kind of remind you of somebody that's currently in WWE that's doing the role model gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey.
Yeah, that was the SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, I mean, Britt Baker, she could be a champion. She will be the champion soon. But right now, it's like, I understand why they gave the belt to Nyla Rose. Because they wanted to do something WWE is afraid to do. Is to open up the doors and say any woman, even as transgender, can do it.
Hold up. WWE did it first. Remember Santina?
Well, no. I'm sorry. Harvey Whippleman also won the women's championship.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair enough.
But those are a different thing. And Santina wasn't a champion. She was Miss WrestleMania, which is, we're not going to mention that. But
yeah, we're not. We are not.
But again, it's like AEW wants to be the first to say, oh, this transgender woman is gonna revolutionize our women's division. She's gonna lead us. She's just a big old Nia Jax, basically, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's transgender, yeah, but she's like Nia Jax. Right? That's my rant.
Yeah, I have no problem with some of those names, like Hikaru Shida or Riho winning it when the title has had, let's say, 10 people have held it already. I have no problem with that. But them being champion during the title's infancy, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, and that's
why I mentioned a Britt Baker, because she could basically is the name I meant. The thing I would say is she's a household name. People know who she is. People know who Allie is. People know who Brandy Rose is. People know who Awesome Kong is. People do not know those three names of Nyla Rose, Riho, and Hikaru Shida. People, in America especially, don't know who they are.
Lance, before he would cut you off. Sorry.
Well, and Kenny Omega needs to get this into his damn head. This ain't Japan. 90% of the women's roster is Japanese wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. Even the ones that I know there was a few that's also in Japan too that were wrestlers for Stardom. So, yeah. Anyway, last but not least in the notes of AEW is that we have Mr. Brody Lee, the self-proclaimed AEW World Champion, and the true AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. Now, we did forget to mention last week that during the beatdown, Brody Lee, who people know as Luke Harper, stole Jon Moxley's World Championship. And now he's coming around saying he is the self-proclaimed champion. Now, Brody did beat Christopher Daniels in the main event. And Moxley, who's been looking for him the entire show, which they should have done a little bit more with Moxley, but I digress. Moxley came out, tried to get the belt back, but Brody Lee and 10 ran away. And basically next week, Moxley is fighting 10 in a match. Thought, Lance?
Well, they're building this AEW World Championship match like it should be. If you're going to do the, he steals my belt gimmick, this is exactly the right way to do it. Because if a certain other 2W and an E company would have done it, the dude would have stole it at the beginning of the show, and by the end of the night, whoever the real champion would have got it back by the end of the damn night. This, you stretch it out.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Lance. And this is very interesting. I just think a lot of people comparing Brody Lee to doing a McMahon gimmick. What's your thoughts on it?
He is.
I kind of see it a little bit of like that McMahon thing, but also kind of a little bit of the cult leader Bray Wyatt type deal. It's in some way, shape, or form, and so there because he is leading the Dark Order, and that's kind of a cult thing or something because that kind of does associate with Bray, but also kind of does it in a way with adding Vince McMahon characteristics to it. Feel like something like that.
Oh, it's a middle finger to Vince. It is what it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. All right, Ryan, you want to take over NXT?
Absolutely. First thing, In Your House comes back, but as an NXT Takeover pay-per-view. Discuss.
All I gotta say is they need to bring back that damn house set. They need a house, damn it.
Or at least doing an updated version.
Exactly. Give us a damn house. It'll be fine. And basically, honestly, it's like, I guess they wanted to do a takeover, and this is just basically the takeover that they wanted to do with Tampa, but they couldn't because of the whole situation. And having it named In Your House it makes sense. It makes perfect sense, Lance.
Absolutely, and hell, it's also it's throws back to when I was growing up because you either heard the Big Four or the In Your Houses. It's getting me a little bit nostalgic.
Exactly. Same for me. The In Your Houses were also a part of my childhood, so I'm happy it's coming back at least, if only for one night at least. Next up, we have kind of two things into one. We had the NXT Tag Team titles were defended. Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher were defending against Imperium. I forgot the two members' names.
Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel.
I know one of them was Fabian Aichner, but I forgot who the other one was. But basically, in a nutshell, the two Imperium guys won the NXT Tag Team titles, and then this kind of boiled over between Timothy Thatcher not taking the loss too kindly, and then the two Riddle and Thatcher having a match later on with Riddle getting a roll-up victory, and then Thatcher kind of trying to break Riddle's arm. James?
In that kind of situation, also we did forget to mention is that during the match of the tag team titles, Matt Riddle did do a monkey flip. I forgot which Imperium member it was, onto Thatcher, and Thatcher just walked off. Basically, that's why Imperium won the title. Now, Imperium winning the championship is something I didn't expect, but at the same time, well, actually, I didn't think they was going to win it anyway because I thought the new team that was brought in was supposed to be the team that takes the title. I guess something happened to where they're not able to make it to the tapings, and that's why they went with Imperium because it's Imperium. So now Imperium holds two titles, one from NXT UK and one from NXT. And it kind of figured that the Matt Riddle Thatcher feud was starting off was just because of the fact that Thatcher and Riddle, doesn't really have that chemistry. And actually, this might have been the feud that they were looking for with Riddle and
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne, yeah. Before this whole situation where Dunne is also stuck in the UK.
Yeah. Lance?
Well, good for the guys from Imperial, and I can't freaking stand Matt Riddle. So the only reason I was caring about the tag team champions was when it was Pete Dunne and
Matt Riddle.
The Broserweights.
The Broserweights, basically. Okay, skipping over this one. This probably was at the end. We get to the Cruiserweight title tournament, the interim NXT Cruiserweight title tournament, where I believe, I can't remember his name, but Jake Atlas got a win in it.
Atlas got a win over Nice. Nice
fell to Tony Nice. And then I remember Jack Gallagher getting a win against, what was it, Isaiah Swerve Scott?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of the interference of Tony Nese, because Swerve Scott did mention in his promo that if he would have gone winless like how Nese did, then he would have quit wrestling, basically.
Saints?
So yeah, with that being said, I think this is just going to lead to Nese and Swerve Scott storyline in NXT, even though that could have been a 205 Live feud. It could even lead to a match at In Your House, actually. And honestly, I think the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship Tournament Finals is going to be at In Your House, most likely. And it's a really interesting, but with Swerve Scott and Nese, that feud, it's something I don't really care about because these are just two people that it really hasn't done. I mean, don't get me wrong, Swerve Scott's a good wrestler, but he's just somebody that I don't think would see that I would go up top, basically.
Yeah. I really think that this whole tournament is basically probably more so about Drake Maverick more than likely winning this title. Hopefully. That's what
well, it depends on. Well, this one goes into next week. It depends on.
Yeah, he's facing Kushida.
Maverick can beat Kushida in the.
Yeah, if he wins, then we get. Yeah.
I thought he got released.
He is. I think they might be turning it into a story.
Let's say this: when he got released, his last matches were in the tournament because they announced him in the tournament before he got released.
Oh, okay.
So if he does win, we don't know. He might become CM Punk and walk away with the title.
Yeah.
Except for Vince ain't going chasing after him.
Nope. And there's no money to make person to cash in on.
Yeah.
Cash in with.
Next up, James will talk about Undisputed Era and Dexter Lumis.
Okay, so anybody remember Dexter Lumis? Lance, do you know who Dexter Lumis is?
I know who Undisputed Era is, but
he used to be Shaw in Impact.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how they're gonna fuck him up.
The crazy one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the dude looked kind of like a mercenary or something. Didn't he like throw somebody in a van or something?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, but yeah. Yeah. But then obviously, while he's gone, we will talk about the Priest Balor feud. It was revealed. Obviously, Finn Balor had a match with Cameron Grimes, with Cameron Grimes getting a win with assistance from Damian Priest, who is revealed to be Finn Balor's attacker. Lance?
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Okay, no, I'm an AEW guy. I don't really watch NXT unless it's like right before a takeover.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically,
well, we're back with I mentioned the
I'll explain. I'll explain both of them. So, going back to Dexter Loomis Undisputed Era. Dexter Loomis is basically going back to his little creepy ways and stalking people. And apparently he's been helping out, he's been trying to help out Velveteen Dream with the NXT Championship. But Dexter Loomis accidentally cost Velveteen Dream the title last week. Then basically the Undisputed Era kind of did a video conference call this past week, Wednesday, and basically marked their plans for what they're to do next. And Roderick Strong is basically going to go fight Dexter Loomis in this match. So this could be the possibility that Dexter Loomis could be the next person in line for the NXT Championship. Ryan, go to do that, and then I'll explain Damian Priest and Finn Balor.
I really have nothing to say about it. It's something I really don't care about that much. Mostly the only thing I care about much is the Balor Priest feud and potentially the Cruiserweight tournament when it comes to NXT. And potentially whatever Killers, aka Karrion Kross, does and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, going to Kross, he actually used the Armageddon to end this near thing on his promo.
Yeah, that was pretty damn cool. They brought that back. I haven't heard that since Armageddon 05 between Taker and Orton.
With Damian Priest and Finn Balor, just to do a little note for Lance, a couple of weeks ago, Finn Balor was supposed to fight the Velveteen Dream in a match 1-on-1 before Dream fought Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. But but NXT did something where it's like, oh, Finn Balor got attacked, but nobody knew who was the attacker was because they attacked from behind. And then basically Finn Balor's been going out and basically is wondering who the heck attacked him. So Finn Balor had a match with Cameron Grimes. And then basically during the match it was revealed that Damian Priest came out and basically tried to distract Finn Balor. With the referee distracted by Grimes, Damian Priest used his little nightstick and hit Finn Balor in the leg, costing Finn Balor the match. And then Damian Priest took a chair, basically took the leg of the chair and basically put it over Finn Balor's neck, kind of like what Triple H did in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically it's like, I was the one who attacked you a few weeks ago. So this could lead up to a match at In Your House.
Yeah, I am kind of excited for that match. I definitely say it will be a slugfest. That's for sure.
I guess the fact is with this one with Finn Balor. Going back to Dexter Loomis, the only reason I think why he's in a hunt for the title is because of the fact that Velveteen Dream being in trouble for some type of situation, which we would not mention.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think that's why he's next in line. With Finn Balor, I'm kind of really surprised they went having him be the big old heel, but then now putting him as a face. He was supposed to fight Walter for the NXT UK Championship, but because of the whole situation, they can't.
Yeah.
So now they had to put him as this face, and now you got Damian Priest who wants to put his name out there. So.
Yeah, well, better than to beat Finn Balor. That will put your name out there.
SmackDown.
Yep, we got SmackDown. We have the beginnings of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament, where Elias picked up a win over King Corbin flukily, like a roll-up win, and Daniel Bryan getting a harder victory over his friend Drew Gulak. For both advancing in the tournament. That also was revealed to have AJ Styles in the tournament, who will be facing next week. Will face Shinsuke Nakamura. James?
Well, going to the reason why they're having the championship tournament is because they took the title away from Sami Zayn due to the fact of him not being able to compete. Now, I know here's where I think a lot of people is complaining. Oh, why don't you do this with Lesnar, and why are you doing this with Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn and Lesnar situation are two different things. WWE's booking it, book Lesnar to be this champion that doesn't defend his championship every so often, but WWE can still bring him in. Well, Sami is sitting out of the virus to be safe, which I think that's a smart idea. But WWE don't know when all of this is going to be over, and it's safe for him to come in to defend his championship. Yeah. So that's why they took the title away from Sami just for now, because of this whole situation. Elias winning over Corbin is just because Corbin just worried about that guitar more than he worried about the match and the costume. I was surprised about it. Daniel Bryan's was obvious because he was feuding with Sami before all this was over. Now, AJ Styles in the tournament is actually surprising me because of the fact I know they're underdoing this whole brand invitational, but actually it's surprising that somebody from Raw is fighting in this tournament for the SmackDown title. Does this mean that he's switching over to SmackDown? Lance?
Actually, I think they're going to, because of how heavily they're telegraphing. They had Michael Cole say heavy saying about AJ being in this tournament. I personally think they're putting the belt on him.
I can kind of see that, but I also kind of see that this whole tournament is kind of focused on one other person, Sheamus. He is someone in the tournament who's never really won or fought for the Intercontinental Championship, and that's the one title he has not won or fought for. So I could see the tournament either going to AJ or Sheamus, because those are the two likely guys that have to win. That might have to go to the finals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me double check something.
All right. Well, you do.
Because I know AJ had never won the Intercontinental either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made that point blank.
Yeah. I think the thing is about this one is that I don't know if they really mention more Sheamus. They more mentioning Styles because of those Styles, and they mentioning more AJ Styles has never won the Intercontinental Championship. They never mentioned Sheamus, but at the same time, they pushing Jeff Hardy for a bit. So you never know. Jeff Hardy might be the one that might be going into that tournament.
Yeah, I see that. If Sheamus, because Jeff is facing Sheamus, if Jeff beats Sheamus, I'm gonna literally be mad about it. It's like here's a guy who's never won the Intercontinental title. You should have maybe won the title, maybe say for Sheamus, maybe around 2015. When he was feuding with Daniel Bryan, who was at the time the Intercontinental Champion.
Well, 2015, but 2015, Sheamus won Money in the Bank,
Yeah, but before that, he was feuding with not just Ziggler, but then Intercontinental Champion Daniel Bryan, which could have led to him fighting Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh yeah, before Daniel Bryan had to give it up for injury.
I would think they were going to probably give that to Sheamus at the time. But since that because he had to forfeit. That never happened. And was then given the Money in the Bank and then win the WWE title.
Lance, thoughts?
I've said who I think is getting this.
Okay.
Either
So-
one of those two. It's either Sheamus or AJ.
Next.
Facts, obviously, you mentioned the brand thing. Charlotte comes out, talks, having come to SmackDown where she won 5 of her 12 championships, was then interrupted by Bayley and Sasha, obviously. And this kind of continues the whole ploy of separating Bayley and Sasha as she plays into the thought, obviously mentioning to Sasha that they've made and invented the first Raw together, the first pay-per-view together, and basically telling her, you're telling me you're being content with being Bayley's lackey, and Bayley keeps constantly interrupting Sasha whenever Sasha's about to speak. Kind of boiling to the fact that this is getting built up even more towards SummerSlam, where Sasha will more than likely beat Bayley for the title. James?
Well, yeah. In this situation, it is Charlotte is dividing Bayley and Sasha. Basically, people do see it. This is obvious. And next week we have Charlotte versus Bayley, champion versus champion. Something I didn't put on here, but that could be from now until SummerSlam, they could still have contenders. Dana Brooke could be a contender for the women's championship. I never mentioned that because she did beat Naomi, but going into the promo itself, Charlotte made a good point. Does Sasha want to, be the best, or does she
content with being
of being? Well, I'm going to say something different than what Charlotte say. Non-PG. Does Sasha really wants to be Bayley's bitch? Lance?
Yeah.
When are they going to break them up? When are they going to break them up? When are they going to break them? Oh, they're going to break them up here. It's getting boring on when they're going to, because they keep talking about, they started talking about around Royal Rumble time. Then after that,
putting Sasha into the 6-person elimination match.
It's getting boring. They keep, we down here, we have this little saying, either shit or get off the pot.
But here's the thing, though. This was they even did before. Remember, Bayley and Sasha had a feud on Raw. And then all of a sudden, they made up. And then they went on to win the women's tag team championship. Be the first. They should have done it there.
But then Sasha took her ball and went home.
Yep.
Again. And it's just something. It's like, Sasha did help Bayley become the new Karen. I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to say stuff like that.
Can I speak to your manager?
Yeah, the new who I can speak to your manager. With that haircut, yes. But the thing is that they teased this a whole lot. And I understand waiting to SummerSlam, but just do it now. Have Sasha and Bayley do their own thing and then go all the way up to go into SummerSlam and feud. It's too freaking obvious right now.
Yeah.
Last but not least.
And we come to the last thing on SmackDown for SmackDown Live. Otis and Braun Strowman, the current Universal Champion and Mr. Money in the Bank, facing off against Miz and Morrison.
Hey, ho, ho.
Yeah, hey, ho, ho. And also where both Strowman and Otis pick up the win. And then after the match, Otis teases a cash-in.
When Manny Rose came out.
Just kidding, just kidding, big man. James?
I'm going to go with Lance with this one. I'll start with Lance with this one.
Yeah, Lance?
Regarding the actual match, I hate WWE's tag matches, so whoop-de-damn-do. But hey, they teased it. Hey, good for them. That's all I can say. They teased it, played a little bit. You know what? Cool.
Now here's the main issue is right now is that going into this was that Otis was on Miz TV, and then he mentioned Tucker wasn't there because of some reason on the Oregon Trail, which is a game, by the way.
He got dysentery on the Oregon Trail.
Or yeah. But the thing is that what are they doing with Otis? Is Otis really gonna be that one to cash in? Because if you look at Money in the Bank, we didn't mention this in Money in the Bank, and we should have. Was after the Universal Title match, you saw the Fiend. The Fiend is going to have his match with Braun Strowman. We don't know when.
I think Otis's chance to cash in is right now, because there is no chance in hell he's going to cash in on the Fiend without some backlash. Like, easily.
But the thing,
like,
heat. But the main question, because with this one, is that what is Otis' real plan with the Money in the Bank? Because nobody knows what plan they're gonna do with Otis. Because Otis even said in the mention he wanted to use that for the tag titles instead of being for the Universal Championship. You don't know what we're gonna do with that. So, but at the same time, it's like you could have something starting to with Otis and Braun for a bit, but then when the Fiend comes out and interferes, Otis can still do the same thing. And Otis right now, he's still dealing with Mandy, the Mandy Rose storyline with him and Mandy and Ziggler. So at that point in time, Ziggler can even say challenge Otis for the briefcase at Backlash. You never know.
Yeah, but and then that would also if Ziggler, who's had history with the briefcase as well, he might get the backlash regardless of who he's going to cash in. He cashes in on Fiend, that's going to be, oh God, he's going to get nuclear heat, like, easily.
And we are mentioning backlash.
And then obviously he's easily going to get destroyed, more than likely by the Fiend, even if
but the thing is that. No, but the thing is that I don't think Ziggler is going to win the briefcase. If they made that match, Otis is going to win again.
Yeah, like I said, Otis's chance to cash in is right now. Because, like I said, he'll get some heat if he cashes in on the Fiend. Like, easily. Because the Fiend is the hottest thing they got going right now. And it would just be, they would just be burying the Fiend to Otis. And it would just be nuclear heat. And people will not watch WWE anymore and go watch AEW. And
they already have nuclear heat when freaking Seth Rollins hit the Fiend with a freaking hammer.
Yeah, but it's
and they did a disqualification. Everybody's watching AEW now.
It'll be like that, but worse.
Like when they made the Fiend drop it to Goldberg, that kind of nuclear heat.
That and the Seth thing combined.
Yeah, we already had the Fiend thing, because even Seth Rollins mentioned it on the interview, was that the Fiend thing at Hell in a Cell was the worst thing that ever happened to his character.
Yeah.
All right. So, any last words before we close out?
Lance?
Not really.
Well, on that bombshell, this concludes our second ever episode. Make sure to come and watch us next week, where we will have, more than likely, a different special guest. But until then,
before we go out, Lance, you want to do your little advertisement for your channel?
Well, every Tuesday night I'm at youtube.com/Lancemosstv. Every Tuesday night I go live on Lancemosstv and friends. I never know who's going to show up. But it's usually Ryan's there. My other co-hosts are usually Stephen G. Atkins and Zoe Night, or the Nightmare Vixen Zoe Nightshade, and then again who the hell ever else shows up. And every Friday I put out an episode of Redneck Gourmet at around, well, if it's 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. And yeah, you can hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lancemosstv.
And with that,
Right.
we will see y'all next week.